Hi, everyone. I'm Richie. This is Dakota. We're here to talk about the upcoming show this Sunday, Money in the Bank. It's being talked about as the greatest Money in the Bank in the history of the promotion since it's been moved from WrestleMania. The card does have some potential, but we're going to go through each match here and kind of see, I guess, what both of our takes are and, what the future holds after as we head to SummerSlam. So the first match we have up, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin. I know these are two guys that we both like, but neither one of them they both seem to kind of have no direction at all.
Yeah.
Dolph is a main event player who should be in the main event, but continues to be on the pre-show with Corbin, as this matchup has been going on since WrestleMania.
Yep.
And Corbin could be a great heel, but for whatever reason, I think these two guys will benefit from the brand split, but, what do you see coming up on Sunday?
You know what I think it is? I think the Big Show needs to go. I think the more that, even though he's not on TV, they still have that big guy that's there,
right.
And they're still using him for things.
Yep.
Not that I want Corbin to go on a job every week, because he's great and he's young, and they can really use him he could be a champion one day, but I just feel like in order for him to rise, the big guys like Kane and Show need to either be off of TV or just retire in general. I would hope Baron Corbin wins. Everything pointing would show he would win the match. Hopefully, Ziggler's been around for years and he's had a few good runs, but then they were wasting them for the most part. So I feel like that Corbin should win this match.
I feel the same way. I think Corbin should win, but I think Dolph Ziggler's going to get the win here. Just because it kind of seems that the more and more we want to see Corbin move up or get a shot, the less and less likely that becomes. So I think Ziggler will get the shot here, just because if Ziggler does go to SmackDown when this brand extension happens, they're going to need people in order to compete for that world title. And I think you'll start to see some guys who maybe have been under the radar a little bit, like Ziggler, kind of rise back to the top, as they'll need competitors for that second world title.
I don't know, man. I just feel like he's worn out to me now. He was good when he won his first one, when he had AJ and then Big E with him, but after that, he's just his character's been so worn out. This whole stealing the show crap that he does every week, it's it was entertaining at first because he was actually going out there putting on good matches. Not that he doesn't anymore, but it's just the gimmick's worn out. I'm kind of over Ziggler.
Okay. So next, the second pre-show match, we have Sheamus and Apollo Crews. I think this is a match that Crews should and will win, to kind of propel him, I guess, to that next level, we hope.
What happened to Sheamus? They completely destroyed Sheamus, man.
One time we in June, in what was it, January, he was the world champ, and now he's on the pre-show. After a movie comes out,
he wasn't that bad either. We went to go see that.
And he was a premier role in the movie, and now he goes to opening the pre-show against Apollo Crews. Nothing against Crews, just because we've had this conversation that Crews has the potential to be very good.
Right.
But I think that this is a way for Crews to kind of propel, because Sheamus is, a 3-4 time world champion, and for Crews to get a victory over Sheamus and possibly move on, this gives him a chance to showcase his ability. Plus, Crews' finisher involves that walking around with him on his shoulder powerbomb. Sheamus is a bigger guy.
Or the Thez press and then he backflips on top of him.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if with his moveset, Sheamus is a bigger guy where he might need to do some different things.
Yeah.
So this will kind of allow us to see Crews, I guess, open up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see him throwing him in the air for a powerbomb at all. But I'm still stuck on Sheamus, man. He carried SmackDown for 7 months straight. At the world champion. He won the belt. They pretty much wasted his Money in the Bank cash in, and then just to have Reigns destroy him.
Right, and since we're talking about Money in the Bank, Sheamus, I think last year was probably the biggest surprise of that pay-per-view. I don't think anybody expected Sheamus to win Money in the Bank. I know I did.
I was happy when he did, but I didn't expect it to happen.
Right, and then, everything that happened with Rollins, I think, kind of messed things up a little bit. But, yeah, Sheamus has gone from the top to the bottom pretty quick here.
Pretty quick.
So now we get to the main card, and this was a match that we were talking about actually on the way here. Rusev and Titus O'Neil for the U.S. title it's disappointing because Rusev is a lot better than what he's being given credit for.
Yep.
I was saying he's one of those guys who should be not necessarily a main event, like an Ambrose, a Rollins, and a Reigns,
Yep.
but he is a guy who maybe could close a Raw with a pretty good match. Kind of be that guy who gets pushed up to the main event with the brand extension here, and he's going against a guy who's about 4 years behind in terms of the push that he should have got. Right. I mean, 4 years ago, when O'Neal and Young were doing the millions of dollars, I mean, that was the time to push him, and now you're starting to push him, and it just doesn't make sense. Both these guys are not being used properly, and as much as Rusev is the anti-American, it fits. He's a good heel, and Lana is a very good manager for him, being his wife. But this match it doesn't appeal to me.
I just feel like it's their way of saying we're sorry for suspending you on something stupid that you did.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. And not even that, but I mean, I would much rather see Rusev defend against Kalisto again. Even though we saw Rusev demolish
break Kalisto's back.
Yeah, I mean, but even still, I feel like Kalisto, his U.S. title was not well put together.
Yep.
And I would much rather see those two guys. Two guys who can
actually.
actually.
Seen Kalisto in a while now.
Yeah. To actually go at it versus Rusev and O'Neal.
Isn't he in that cruiserweight?
Kalisto?
Yeah, that cruiserweight tournament.
That I'm not too sure about. They were just on Raw.
Okay.
And it's at the Lucha Underground's competed against Owens and Del Rio.
The Lucha Dragons.
Yep. So he's back. He's back to doing that again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
The women's match, Charlotte and Dana Brooke, who I really like, against Becky Lynch and Natalya.
Yeah. Okay. So Natalya, same concept applies with her and Titus.
Right.
Well past the time of you should have pushed her years ago. She only has one title reign, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's probably one of the most talented, if not most talented, wrestlers, female wrestlers on the roster. But they just squandered her, and we'll just go. WWE doesn't like their hearts at all. The only time they ever played to Natalya using Natalya is when she is facing Charlotte, or they're trying to do a generation versus generation match.
Well, not even that, but to throw her in with, I guess, Gail Kim. Those are two individuals who kind of came into WWE at the wrong time. They were introduced when we were still in the bra and panties era of women not wrestling, and they were a lot better than what we
If you guys haven't seen that, go on WWE Network and check that out. Great time.
There's your plug, Vince. But it's just that thing that they came in at the wrong time and were extremely talented. But the worst thing about this is we haven't seen Sasha Banks.
Nope.
Naomi's hurt.
Yep.
Nikki Bella's hurt.
Yep.
Becky is essentially being wasted.
Yep.
We have not seen Paige besides Raw.
And she loses as well, so she's being wasted.
Yeah, well, and she beat Charlotte on Monday, but even still, all this momentum that women wrestling had built and was added up has now just been kind of wasted.
That only applied for NXT, I believe. So when they brought it up to the main roster, it kind of thrown to the wayside a bit. Yeah, you have these fantastic female wrestlers, but NXT has been the cornerstone for all their guys, and that's why I believe they're going to keep Bayley and Asuka down there for as long as they can.
Yeah, and I mean, even at WrestleMania, there was talk that Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky was the best wrestling match of the night, and now we don't see any of them on TV, and the only person that we see is whoever's feuding with Charlotte.
Yep.
And with her being Flair's daughter, they're obviously not going to keep her off TV.
Mm-hmm.
But it's disappointing to see the women's division headed this way. The tag match, I think, could steal the show.
I think it will.
I mean, the New Day, Vaudevillains, End Zone Cast, and the Bullet Club, or whatever they want to call themselves, the Club. I'm sorry. Will be going at it. I really wanted to see this as a tornado tag match.
Yeah.
Just because Money in the Bank kind of, I guess, is a destruction.
Did they confirm it was not going?
It is not. It is not. So that's extremely disappointing. But of these four teams, I mean, if the New Day is going to drop to anybody, it's either going to be the Vaudevillains or the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I would think, because you're not going to have a face beat a face unless they have Enzo and Cass pin
Well, they've had
the
faces
Vaudevillains
in matches
or,
like this. They weren't gonna have them like beat them in a one-on-one match.
Right. So I think for me, I think this is the best way that you bring up the Vaudevillains to the same level as the other three. I mean, the club speaks for itself.
Yep.
With AJ, Enzo and Cass essentially run Monday Night Raw now, and the New Day are one of the most well-known gimmicks on wrestling television
But here's
right now.
the thing: if you take the belts off of the New Day, are they not as relevant anymore?
I don't think so, but I think that this helps the Vaudevillains because if the Vaudevillains can beat the New Day, that draws so much heat to the Vaudevillains because whoever beats the New Day,
I was gonna say, but are they gonna pull the trigger on letting the New Day lose any of these three though?
Yeah, I couldn't.
I'm like confused on where the Usos are at.
Yeah, the Usos. Oh, one of the brothers is actually hurt again.
Oh.
So we'll see, but American Alpha could be coming soon. So it's interesting to see where they're gonna go with this match because this is the wild card where I don't think anybody really knows what's gonna happen.
I think it's gonna be a lot of chaos, but it's gonna be good chaos.
Yes.
I don't know if there's gonna be any shenanigans. Maybe we'll see.
The one that I know you're gonna be extremely disappointed about.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, John Cena. I think we're gonna agree here that Cena's gonna win. But we do have a running bet.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, I bet, would be a world champion by the time that this 2016 year is over, which I do plan on winning that bet.
Mm-hmm.
But how good of a match will this be, regardless of who wins or loses?
Well, first off, I plan on you losing that bet. I do think it's going to be a really good match. Like I was mentioning before, we've been looking for AJ versus Cena for years now. AJ's been in TNA, Cena's been in WWE. We've always wondered if their top guy goes against the WWE's top guy. We all know AJ's the better wrestler, but Cena has made a name for himself. Cena's, as much as people complain about John Cena, he's a cornerstone guy. Like, Cena can put on some really great matches with great people. He's like, Cena's not carried during the ring like people claim he is.
Right.
But AJ's the better wrestler. But this is going to be a really good match. I think out of a 5-star, it's probably going to be 4.5. I think it's probably going to be, I know we just said the tag team match is going to be the best card, but Cena and AJ might be the best match on the card. I just hope fans don't, whatever the outcome is, hope fans don't look at the outcome and judge the whole match from that. Because the match is going to be great, but don't let the ending ruin the entire match for you. That's my piece of advice for you guys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Cena is better than people give him credit for. I think it just comes down to, probably like we'll talk about with Reigns. It's the cool thing to boo John Cena.
We've been cheering him a lot more now.
Yeah, they have, and Cena's character is probably a good 10 years old right now, which is probably, outside of Undertaker, one of the longest running characters that we have seen that has not changed or progressed in any way. But yeah, I agree. I don't think Cena will be getting carried by AJ. I think obviously AJ will probably take the lead, as the better wrestler. But I think that this match could be very, very good. And if they are the two that are the ones that bring in the World Heavyweight Championship, heading towards SummerSlam, I wouldn't be mad at all if those were my two choices.
Do you think it's going to be shenanigans with the club entering the match?
I think so. I think that this is a way that you could debut a new person or a new team. There are rumors that Finn Balor will be at the show on Sunday. Is this a way that when you bring out the club, you have the lights go out and Balor come out, or is this a way that you debut American Alpha to come save Cena? There could be a whole lot that goes on with this match.
Who are you picking?
I think you got to go with Cena. I don't think Vince will let him lose the first match. I don't know that. I don't think AJ will. I think AJ will get a win against Cena at some point, but it won't be Sunday.
See, the thing I don't want to happen with AJ that happened to Owens you win once and then you just keep losing to him every single time.
Yes.
Because they did Owens completely wrong. They should have just let Owens beat him, go back to NXT with the title, and leave it at that for now.
And that's been almost a year ago to this point. And you think about that. I mean, Owens did beat Cena one-on-one clean.
Yep.
And now, finally, a year later, Owens is starting to again reemerge in the main event. Shuffle. And yeah, it's one of those things that people that always go against John Cena always end up getting lost in the shuffle. And I think AJ's too good to get lost in the shuffle.
So is Owens and everybody else that went up against them.
But I think, I think at this point Cena will win, but AJ will, whatever the pay-per-view is next month, if we see this match again, I think AJ will win because obviously Cena will not lose at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If that will be the rubber match.
Right.
So what's your take on the ladder match? Shenanigans, not shenanigans. Who's gonna win? Are we gonna see a cash in the same night? I mean, you know my opinion. So
they are all just like phenomenal, like all those guys in the ring. And I remember a few years ago, Cesaro was actually getting the push to being the world champ. I don't know if this is during your hiatus. He beat Orton for clean on SmackDown, and that's what Orton was the undisputed champion.
Yeah.
So that was like one of the best matches for me. I would love to see them do Cesaro. The whole thing they have going on with the whole transporter suit and everything. He looks alright. The Ripway suit, okay, fine, it's working for him. Fans love him regardless.
Yeah.
But I know it's probably not going to be him. I would like him to win. I think all answers point to Ambrose winning the Money in the Bank and possibly trying to cash in later, and then that sets up for... I think what ultimately happens, and I may be jumping the gun here, but I think that Ambrose maybe wins Money in the Bank, and then he comes out later in the night, making it a triple threat match, and then whether or not AJ beats Cena or not, the club goes out and it interferes in the match.
Okay.
Because AJ wants the belt, then that sets up for Shield versus Club.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there could be a whole lot going on here. I've been saying for a while now that Ambrose wins, cashes in that night, triple threat for, the Shield. But for the sake of us going to WrestleMania next year, I hope that doesn't happen. And that we see something similar to maybe Rollins winning the Royal Rumble and Ambrose then saying he's going to cash in at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat match. I would like to see something a little bit more down that line if it is Ambrose that wins. My ultimate favorite that I would absolutely lose my mind would be Kevin Owens.
Oh, that would be so great.
Kevin Owens right now on the mic is probably one of the best things this company has going for them. Kevin Owens is he's gold. I mean, whatever comes out of his mouth is absolute genius. It's funny. He's just an arrogant prick, and it's awesome. So to see him, maybe even in the beginning of the match, Zayn just goes straight for him, hit him hit him with a chair, and lay there the whole match to have everybody else just beat themselves up and him climb up the ladder.
Well, you remember what happened at the beginning of the match at the last pay-per-view. He just came out and Haluva kicked him straight out the match, and everyone's looking like, okay.
And then at the end, he was still there. Ultimately, Mike's man, really Zack Ryder, won, but...
Hey, Mike.
But no, I think that Owens would have to be a sneaky way to win, but it would be awesome to see him brag about the fact that he has won the Money in the Bank every single week on TV.
What if they wasted it on Del Rio or Jericho?
I mean, look, Jericho is fantastic as a heel, especially with this whole stupid idiot let me cross my legs with a scarf on gimmick that he's got going. Yes, Eli Drake, fantastic. Yeah, dummy. It's awesome. But Jericho, at this point, I don't think needs anything to really solidify himself. He's been there, he's done that. 6-time world champ, 9-time IC champ. He doesn't need it. Del Rio, I could see.
I don't understand why he came back.
I don't know. I mean, I could see this being like last year, where they gave it to Sheamus. It being similar, where they kind of wasted on Del Rio.
Yeah. Give him another title run.
Especially with everything's so up in the air with the brand split coming that you just really don't know. It could be wasted on Del Rio. I think the only person in this match that I think has 0% chance of winning is Sami Zayn. Yeah.
That's sad too.
It is. It is. I mean, Zayn. I mean, in terms of wrestling, I mean, Zayn might be the best wrestler in this match, but ultimately has absolutely no chance at winning.
What if we have another Rollins Ambrose situation where Owens wins the belt, the briefcase, and Zayn prevents him from cashing in like every single time until he like takes them out permanently.
Yeah, that was fantastic last year, and if you remember, I mean, that was the most over Ambrose was, and I believe Vince wasted that opportunity to put the strap on Ambrose last summer.
I was so happy when like he was walking around with the belt and
when we all thought that he won it, and then they did the disqualification thing. I mean, the belt looks good on Ambrose.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
it
looks good on all three of the Shield members actually, but like only one can hold at once.
Yes.
Speaking of Shield.
Yeah, this main event. If our tablet starts shaking, my apologies, because the holder is a big Roman Reigns mark over there. So what's your take on this World Championship match?
Oh man, I don't know. Like with all the shenanigans and stuff that we talked about that could possibly happen during the match, I don't think it's going to be a clean finish.
Let me ask you this: is there any chance that Rollins wins, or does Roman Reigns get the title run to surpass? Because we all know how arrogant and despiteful Vince McMahon is. Will Reigns surpass CM Punk with this title run?
I don't even think Punk's a factor, and I don't even think they think about him except for that reign.
Well, but I mean, even like you said, they might not think about it, but they think about AJ Lee last year. With the longest women's reign, they essentially gave it to John Cena's girl.
Yep.
Just out of spite,
right?
Because Naomi could have easily won the belt last summer as well as the hottest diva. I mean, Charlotte could have beat her sooner. Sasha, Becky, all could have easily taken the belt from Nikki Bella and didn't. So, I mean, do we see a year-long run with the strap?
Well, how long is it now? He won it at Mania, right?
Yep. So right now we're looking at, March, April, May?
3 months.
3 months, roughly.
That's a long way to go. But I don't think Rollins is going to beat Reigns at all on Sunday. I love them both. You know I do.
Yeah.
I hate when people boo Reigns because he works so hard compared to what everyone claims he doesn't.
Yep.
But I don't think Rollins is going to beat him on Sunday. I think something's going to happen that causes them to. Something's going to happen where it's like a no decision or something like that.
Right.
But
some type of interference. I mean, I could easily see. I could see. Like you were saying with the club.
Yeah.
I think we could see something like that.
There's no way like Rollins loses clean though. I'm going to throw that out there.
Right.
Or loses.
Yeah. They're not going to make
by a pinfall or submission.
They're not. I don't think they'll make either one of them look weak here. Although Reigns did get a clean win over AJ. But they did. But in how the booking was based, AJ did look very good though.
Well, AJ went right next to you. Can't like. That's the thing with AJ. Like it may be a little bit different for Owens just because he doesn't maybe have that world renowned stink like AJ does.
Right.
Like AJ's been to TNA and in New Japan. Like Owens has just been in Ring of Honor. No offense, we all love ROH, but WWE sometimes doesn't even bother counting them on their radar.
Right.
Just to be realistic.
Which I do want to give a shout. Did you watch Raw this week?
I did watch Raw.
Okay.
Yes.
I absolutely want to applaud John Cena because for the longest time WWE has acted like there's no other promotion in the world.
Yep.
And they just say that these guys are world superstars, but act like they haven't done anything to become a world superstar. Yep. And John Cena on live television acknowledged Ring of Honor, New Japan, and I don't think that they honor TNA.
They will never honor TNA.
But for Cena to have the brass to go out and do that, especially on a Vince McMahon run show, that takes balls.
Well, he's the only one that can say it. Well, like the week before last, he mentioned the Bullet Club. I don't know if that was an accident or not, but he asked AJ why do you have to come out with his Bullet Club.
Yeah. So I mean, it's as much as we were saying people hate John Cena, John Cena will always give credit.
He knows what to do to get the fans either with him or
not even that, but I think John Cena is also that kind of guy who just, if you are a super, an AJ Styles, even if Styles never came to WWE, I think if Cena were to bump into Styles in an airport or whatever, Cena would definitely give him his respect.
Yeah, you have
for
to
being,
respect people. Like you can hate Cena all you want to, but you have to respect John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, I agree. I think Reigns will come out on top somehow. How I have no idea.
Reigns is walking out champion. It's just how he's going to do it, and Rollins isn't losing by pinfall submission.
Yeah, I mean, is there a cash in the match? Is there win and cash in that night?
Right.
Do we see a debut? Is there an interference? Is there a returning star?
Yeah.
What's going to happen with Brock Lesnar? With this whole UFC thing now, how is he going to get brought back? I mean, there's just so much up in the air. I don't want to say that it's the best Money in the Bank that we'll ever see.
That's what they're branding.
They're branding it as, but I think it's the opportunity is there just because we couldn't give you any definite answers as to what is going to happen with this show here.
WWE has the possibility within the next year or so to put out some of the best matches they possibly could have done with the people that they keep grabbing from other promotions and independent shows.
Yeah.
They have it's just so much so much opportunity to put on great matches. So as long as they don't screw it up as far as booking and everything else, I think they're in a good spot to just blow over everything.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So it'll be interesting to see. Even in the next month, with the brand expansion, the pay-per-view, guys are gonna start debuting. In order to get that draft thing rolling. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next month or so. But yeah, so that is our Money in the Bank preview, and let's hope that the pay-per-view just is as good as they advertise.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you guys.